Welcome to Medicare Lagniappe, where we cut the confusion on all your Medicare-related questions and cover topics plus real-life scenarios to empower you for a better understanding of your Medicare options today.
So, welcome to Medicare Lagniappe, Fussell's Group. It's your premier site of learning everything about Medicare. My name is Angel Franstuga, and I'm actually the director of training here with your experience at the Fussell Group. And today I'm actually here with Michelle Canamar. Guys, she is fabulous. How long have you been an agent?
Legally licensed, this is going on my third year. Doing the business,
Doing the business.
second year. Beginning of my second year.
Okay, so you really only have been in the business for about a year now.
Yes.
Okay, guys, I'm going to tell you from my experience, she is not just doing the business, she's up here. She's one of the top selling agents in the Fussell Group, and only within a year.
Well, it's also you have to, you know who my husband is, to where I get that push because he's like, you got to keep up my reputation. I'm like, whatever. So, yes.
But she's her own person, and she still goes, whatever.
Yes.
She does it because she told me she likes one thing. And what's that one thing you love about this business?
Helping people and explaining to them when they have no clue of what's going on. And that's really, strangely enough, a very big eye-opening. Because I've have a client who is a doctor and has a med sub with me, and she's like, I don't know how this works.
No,
and I'm
they
like,
don't.
And then, with my husband, he has clients that are lawyers that are like, what is all of this? And I'm like, well.
So I have come to the conclusion that our doctors, our lawyers, and our Indian chiefs, our business owners and Indian chiefs, this process is one of the hardest things for them to understand.
Yes, it is.
And it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is hard, because we overthink it, unfortunately. Right. Whereas people like Michelle and I go through the rules. We look at everything.
Right.
We understand.
We have to.
Yeah.
We have to. If we don't, we're no longer agents.
Right. We understand the rules to be able to explain it in a term that each unique person with a unique personality can understand.
Right. Correct. Yes. I was a coach and teacher for almost 19 years. And so the easiest way for me is that I start to explain it to people like I did when I was coaching, like they have no clue, and start them very basics. And actually, I had a gentleman the other day said, I can't believe you explained it to me where I understood it. He's like, you talked to me like I was a kindergartner. And at first I was a little taken back. He goes, but then I understood why, because going step by step and explaining why everything is done. And he's like, I was appreciative about that.
Yeah, they are. At first, they're like, I know. But then when we get into it, so you understand and know this, have you ever looked at it from this angle?
Correct.
And it just helps people understand.
Yes.
So much.
And it changes. I had a lady come in and she's like, why in the world it says on my paper that I have to pay this amount when I know it's this amount? And I'm like, what's going off your income from 2 years ago? Right. And she's like, oh. She's like, and I said, but was your income higher? She's like, well, it was briefly. And I said, well, did you get a lottery winning? Did you do something that you came into money inheritance or something, looked like income? And I'm like, I wasn't asking details. Right. And she's like, okay, I understand now. I said, but we're not worrying about that because she's a D-SNP, which is kind of unusual.
That was unusual.
Yes.
Was she able to fill out a SSA 44, or was the government just going to pick up that balance?
They were picking up that balance.
Okay, they were going to pick up the balance for her. Good.
I know. Which I thought was like, okay, that's the first time I came across that one.
Otherwise, if it was 2 years ago and they had a change in income, there's a form called a SSA 44 that somebody can possibly try to fill out.
Okay.
But it's up to Social Security to decide what they're going to do with that.
Right. Okay.
And we're always learning something new in this business, guys. It doesn't matter, always. But explaining to a client and wanting to help them is the kicker. So if somebody's thinking about joining this business, you're new and like starting to sell a year, you're going on 2 years, and you're the queen of it.
No, I'm not the queen.
She is.
I'm a princess. Not the queen. There's many a queens around here. I have not got to that level yet. It's okay.
It's okay. We'll
You're
get
one.
there. Oh, thank you. I'll get there one day too.
Okay.
So, if somebody's new, thinking about coming into in the insurance world,
Mhm.
maybe they don't like all the other parts of insurance. They've done property casualty or life or something to that effect.
Mhm.
I'll tell you now, had a license. I did not like selling life and all these other things like that. But I loved helping the people.
Oh, right. Right. I agree with that.
Yeah. So what type of person you think is a really good Medicare insurance agent?
One, somebody likes to talk.
Hello, here we are.
um, a good-hearted person that doesn't want to see anybody taken advantage of. Um, Somebody who wants to step up and when they say explain things, and like I said, it's almost like being a new mom and teaching them how to do something, small. Just thought about Caroline because she's in the other room with the baby, and watching them grow and watching them see what they're getting from their benefits. Like we had a couple that called us, was a referral, and they were both still on the husband's plan. They
Mhm.
were paying biweekly on their insurance, and they were paying almost twice as much as what they were paying if they were on a med sub.
Wow.
So they were like, I can't believe that. I'm like, why didn't anybody tell us so? It's like, well, nobody really explains anything. And so we sat down and went over it, and they're like, okay, fine. Like, well, we're going to get off the plan at the end of July. I said, not a problem. Just let us know. We'll do everything, have all the plan, everything set up, and it'll start for August. But you have to let your company know. Anyway, so.
And they have to get Part B if they
Right.
weren't on
Well, no,
Part B.
they had Part B.
They had Part B and they were still in the group?
Yeah, because
Wow.
well, she does, he didn't.
Okay.
Because he was the main employer on the employer plan, and she was,
Okay.
add on there. So yes.
Yeah. So, guys, and that's what it is. It's all those little details
Right.
and just explaining everything. And that's the other thing. You have to be willing to educate.
Right.
So, it is a business where we're helping people,
Right.
but we're also educating them.
Of course.
It's
Yes.
not just helping. Otherwise, I probably would have been a nurse, and I wouldn't be good at that because I faint at the sight of needles. God
Oh
help me.
no.
Boom, and blood.
Oh no, that doesn't bother me. I can watch surgeries. Actually, in college I was witnessing autopsy. Does nothing of that stuff that bothers me.
Oh, I would have been. They would have had smelling salt.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. But you're saying with helping people, and it's funny because I don't mean funny, haha. Funny is like ironic because nobody really knows how the Medicare works and why it works. And I'm like, well, and I hate to tell you, next year it's going to change a little bit. Don't know how, but they'll tell us before, and then we'll have to explain it to you and send you everything that's going to go on with that.
Yep. And I mean, guys, when she's saying they're going to let us know, guys, we take lots of tests starting in
Yes.
June.
Yes.
And
Oh, I explained that to my client the other day. She was like, well, you know this. I said, well, you understand. I said, I'm licensed with all the companies, so I have to get recertified with them every year and take tests. She's like, all 9? I'm like, yes,
all of
9.
them.
All of them every year.
Mhm. And then also there's a government test called
Yes.
the AHIP, so we're testing on that too. So then that starts at the end of June,
Yes.
and that has to all be finished by September.
Yes.
So we become brainiacs during the summer.
Kind of.
We
Wait till the
try to
last minute.
be.
Some people wait till the last minute. I'm not saying any names.
She's going to do better this year.
Yes, no. But I mean, we get it done.
Yeah, and I'm a nerd, and I start the first day it comes out because I just have to know what's going on. I'm a
And
freak.
when you said that the other day on the meeting, I was like, maybe I should do that this year.
Yeah.
Maybe I do one a week, and that way it's done instead of trying to cram everything in that last week.
Yeah, so definitely. So yeah, so I say we get paid for our knowledge
Right.
and educating other people and
Right.
helping them.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of people don't realize, like this gentleman I spoke with yesterday, he's losing his Medicaid. So I explained to him that, at the end of June, we'll have to put you in a plan that's going to be a regular, Advantage plan. And he's like, well, I can just do a prescription drug plan. I said, you can. I said, now you're open to what Medicare doesn't cover. He's like, well, Medicare covers everything. I'm like, no, Medicare doesn't. He's like, well, my understanding is. I said, well, I'm going to explain it to you. and I have your email address. So I'm going to send you the direct link to what's coming from Medicare and not just from me. So I have something to back it up, not just because I'm saying it, but they're saying it.
Right.
So it doesn't think that I'm just saying this to make sure that I put him in a plan that I keep him as a client. Of course, I want to keep him as a client, but I want to make sure that he knows that I'm not just doing it for me. I'm doing it for him, because then I explained, I said, then there's this wonderful thing called a penalty, that if you don't have the correct stuff, and he's like, I've never heard of that. So I'm like, well, let me explain. I said, and it's not a one time, it's for life.
So, guys, we're talking about all these terms and all these things and everything.
I get ahead of myself.
No, Michelle, did you even know these things walking into this business?
No, I didn't know a lot. Now, since, you
Right.
know, my other half, he'd say better half.
You should sit on that outside and listen to him a
Oh,
lot.
I always listened to him, and I always handled his paperwork, and I always kept in contact with his clients for him. So that part I had it down packed. It was the learning of the material, and I remember one time he was talking with somebody, and I said, "Well, why didn't you put him with this plan?" He's like, "How do you know about that?" I'm like, "Because I hear you talk about it 24/7." And he's like, "Oh, okay, maybe you should do this too." I'm like, "We'll see." So years later, here I am.
Here she is. So she heard it a lot, and that's the thing. But if you were a brand new agent
Mhm.
at a year ago, and you didn't hear any of the conversations
Right.
that were going on, you would actually learn it
Right.
from hearing us. I
Right.
mean, we have conversations every week about everything.
Right.
As a organization, we actually talk about things. People bring up topics every week.
Right. Well, and also, so when I first got licensed, and I didn't do anything really with the first year because of kids graduating college and high school and so forth, and just busy with everyday life, that I took you'll have the beginner's class here to refresh everybody's memory and going over policies and stuff. Well, I retook that class again. I came back in again, and so I said, I just want to make sure I know what I'm doing. I don't want to go out there and end up having both left feet in my mouth. So going from that, so offering the training that's done here is ridiculous. I mean, I have Donna, I have Shelly, I have Robin, and anybody to call that if I need help with, and everybody's so willing to help and give their information. And normally I'll text Shelly or Donna, hey, I've got a question, and if they're busy, they'll say shoot, or they'll call me, and I wait. It's not that much of a rush, but I always get a response.
Yep.
And so having the knowledge of everybody here has been a tremendous help with me. So if I get stuck, I call people.
That's it. Well, that's it. That's what this business is about. If you don't know, you ask the question.
Right.
So when you first start, sometimes people want to know everything.
Right.
Let's talk about that. If someone wants to know everything before they start, I know what I would tell them. But I have a lot of years doing this business. What would you tell them?
Take it step at a time. Don't want to know everything, because you might not come across everything until years later. And it's, again, taking that one step. And once you get that one step down packed, then get the next step. And then vice versa. Keep going and going and going. And then everything's going to fall into place. It's hard to be thrown, open up encyclopedia and just say, you got to know the whole thing. When you can sit here and read a little about it, you'll have some experience. Once you're out in the field, which I've been told, again, I always throw my husband in this. He's like, you actually know what you're doing. You sounded great. He's like, I can't believe you actually know all this. He's like, you don't need me no more. I'm like, whatever. So
at least he knows, right?
Yeah, he does. He does know. Yes, and then it's also impressing of myself to me, because I'm like, oh wow, that just popped out of my head. Like, I don't. Where would I learn that? I don't remember, but I knew it. And I don't know if it was from training, or it's from one of your, Monday morning meetings that we have, or if it was from my talking or reading or somewhere. I found it, so I knew it. So I was like, oh, I knew that.
Okay. Pat on the back.
I know.
So the other thing is that my favorite answer to people when I don't know something, because I still to this day don't know certain things. I'll say, I think there might be a new rule on that. Before I answer that, let me get some clarity on that, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah. So I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, I'm humble enough to say, if I don't know, I don't know. But I will find out for you. Give me at least 24 hours, and I'll get back with you because I work with such wonderful people that they will be able to help me. And if they don't know it, I'll go somewhere else, but I will find out. So I'm humble enough to say, I don't know everything.
No, me
And
neither.
it's okay. So, and I've had one person laugh at me. He's like, well, you seem to be know what you're doing now. And I'm like, well, I know, but there's these little things here and there that I might not know. And it's
Yeah.
okay to say that.
Mhm. So, what would be the one encouraging thing you would tell somebody if they're thinking about looking into this insurance world of selling to seniors? What would you tell them?
Oh gosh, selling to seniors.
Patience.
Patience, understanding, as well as keeping an open mind, not being closed off and thinking that it's a stuffy position or that, you know, somebody you might work with, you might not really agree with. There's all kind of things, but just keep an open mind and just be willing to learn and ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not hard.
Yeah.
It's I don't say it's easy, but it's not hard.
Right.
It's time consuming because you need to know what you're talking about. It's also um, making sure that you have all your ducks in a row
Right.
and doing everything compliant.
Compliant is the key.
Yes.
But if somebody wanted to make a really good income their first year, it's
Oh, yeah.
there for them.
Oh gosh, yes, yes.
In this business. I
Oh,
mean,
yes.
it's there.
Oh, it is.
It's not, we're not sitting here going, oh, come in, let's give you some little nickels and dimes.
Right.
There's money to be made in the first year.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely there is. And it's amazing when you see it start to accumulate.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, so then I got 100 clients. Oh, wow. Oh, well, okay. I like that one better. And then, adding up, and then, of course you have your goals. And it's one thing that we always did, even when I was coaching, was we had our daily goal, our weekly goal, monthly goal to match up our yearly goal, and then redo it again for the next year to
Yeah.
make sure that you're hitting it. And if you know you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, revamping what you're doing and looking at everything.
So are you saying on a daily basis you have a goal, and a weekly basis you have a goal?
Yes.
Now, I know you have freedom, because that's the other thing this
Yes.
position gives you. It gives you some freedom,
Right.
and flexibility. We do, like, I do work weekends sometimes, and I
Mhm.
do work in the evenings for clients sometimes, but that's my option.
Correct.
And I think you do the same thing,
Yes.
correct?
Yes. So
Right.
I have one lady, she called me, she's like, oh, thank you for answering the phone. I said, well, I usually answer till about 6 o'clock. And if, I know that this client might have some health issues, I'll answer.
Mhm.
Like this one lady that called me, she's like, oh, thank you for answering. I can't believe it. I said, well, look, I normally answer. And if I don't, it's because I'm on another line, and I'll call you back. But if you leave a message and say, just call me when you can, I'll call back. But if somebody just calls and hangs up, that's kind of annoying. But anyway, but yes, I try to, because most of my clients are from the Miralines and word of mouth, and now referrals, which I'm
Right.
getting.
Tons of referrals.
So I try to make at least carve out 2 to 3 hours a day of making my calls. I'd like to get an appointment, at least try to set one appointment a day for, the 48 hours ahead or whatever. And then if I don't get it done, then like on my Thursday, because I'll take a half day Friday. Sometimes don't work on Fridays. I know.
That's cool. I don't
Um,
like working on Fridays either.
So I'll make sure that, okay, well, if I only did 2 hours of calls on Monday, I'm like, okay, well, I didn't do what I was supposed to do with the third hour. So then that means the next day I'm going to add 30 more minutes, or the next day add 30 more minutes, to where I'm getting in that time so I can make the calls. And then if I did all that, then great. Then, okay, those are checked. Then I make sure that I look at it through the week. And I don't know if you know, we always do at the beginning of the year, our personal goals.
Correct.
And so we
And
always
I do my business.
right. And then we do the business. So we want to make sure that we're on track to get everything done. Now, have we hit everything every time? No.
Well, that's okay.
I know, but
Something to shoot
we're
for.
close.
We're close.
We're
Yeah.
close. So yes.
I've always heard, shoot for the stars. You just might end up on the moon.
Right.
I'd rather still be up in the sky
Yes.
in my goals than
Correct.
on the ground.
Correct. Same thing here. Same thing here.
So, yep. So, guys, I just want you to know, if you are somebody who's looking to learn more about this lovely world we have at the Fussell Group and becoming an insurance agent, give us a call. Click the link below. We'll be happy to help you. So, we want to thank you today, Michelle. You were fabulous. You're
Oh,
always
thanks.
so
Oh,
fabulous and
please.
so amazing. Guys, if you have questions for Michelle, put them in the link as well. She'll be happy to come back and answer them. That's just who she is. She does everything. She's amazing. So thank you for joining us. Have a great day. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, join us on Facebook, go see our website at fgiala.com. All right, Michelle and I want to thank you for being here. Bye.
Thanks
Bye.
for watching. This has been a Fussell Group Insurance Advisors educational production series. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe and stay on the lookout for more. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and visit our website, fgiala.com.